Fire away.
I guess, John, just congrats. What does this mean to have this long commitment?
Yeah, just a ton of gratitude. Obviously, very thankful. Ton of gratitude to Jody, Bert, Chuck. Appreciate Bert's time, effort in this whole thing. Uh, Obviously, everybody on the third floor. Everybody in our building, second floor. Uh, Everybody we love in the cafeteria. You know, um, all the scouts, sports science, football operations. Uh, all the current players and all the great former players that have been through here that we totally appreciate. And yeah, and just to be able to move forward with Coach Mike here and uh, go win some championships.
This job's a real grind in a way, right? Everyone sees every decision, scrutinizes every decision. Did you think you'd do this job this long, and what keeps you going?
I I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I think no, I did not. When we moved out here, Tracy and I were. That's one of the things we're especially thankful for is to be able to be in this community and to be able to give back in the autism world, as you well know, and do as much as we possibly can. But yeah, to be in, I'm a big NFL history buff, and to be able to be in one place for as long as we have been in this role, and the things that go on behind closed doors. It's fun to talk about the players and acquisition and all that, but it's about Dave and Strick and Sammy and Mo and Ek and everybody in this building. It's like this awesome foundational. It's quite honestly, it's one of the reasons I wanted to come back here when Tim Ruskell got the job, because I had worked here before with Coach Holmgren and Ted, and I just loved everybody here, and I just knew what a gem it was.
John, what is the key to building such a unique culture that you've been able to do? The honesty, integrity. I mean, what are some of those things that?
Yeah, just treating people the way you want to be treated. Uh, Egoless, putting your egos aside. When Pete and I got together, we made a conscious effort. We had both been fired before, so it was like, hey, neither one of us cares who's going to get the credit. We want to go and win world championships together and create an atmosphere that the players wanted to play here, coaches wanted to coach here, and then everybody was just extremely fired up to come to work every day. And so in the process of recruiting Coach Mike, that's really it was I don't want to say it was an easy sell, but it was a great sell for us because we had done it and had that reputation, and so it's extremely important to being as honest as you can, and in every negotiation without hurting people's feelings and trades and releasing people and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just honesty, being ethical, integrity, and for me it's just like relying on my faith and putting our heads down and working together with everybody and making strong, tough decisions every day.
John, excuse me. The timing of this,
Sorry.
the timing of this, and the fact you're a new quarterback starting over on offense. What does it tell you that Jody and Bert believes in your path, your vision, without having seen it actually go on?
Yeah, I've felt that the whole time that we've been working with Jody, for Jody, and I haven't, new quarterback, not new, that did not enter in. I had some things going on with my contract after the draft, and we started talking, and we were able to come to an awesome agreement. And so I don't think it has to do with players or anything like that.
What does it speak in either direction on the ownership future, sale of the team?
Yeah, just that she has full confidence in what Mike and I are doing, and like I said, everybody in the building, and she was out here the other day and was impressed with the crispness of everything that was going on and the enthusiasm and just everything that we have going. So I think it's just, yeah, I have, the best way to answer it is that I know that she has very strong faith in what we're doing.
Do you believe she'll be your owner through your terms of your contract? Is that what's
I have no idea, and that's not my place.
John, what made this the right timing to get this done for you?
Well, like I said, I had a trigger in my contract after after the draft, and at that point we started talking, and we just kept it going. And look, to have drafted here 16 times, and I mean this is where Tracy and I want to be, and we just kept working together, and we thank God it worked out.
How important was it for you to get this done right now with Coach Macdonald having his contract through 2029 and the two of you being able to be in lockstep now for the entirety of his contract? How much did that?
Yeah, that's an important factor. It is, but it's not. It was not like, hey, we got to get this done because of that and that situation. You know, we went through a coaching change with a legendary coach, and we're able to land Coach Mike and sign him up to a 6-year contract, but that didn't really have a bearing on like the decision for them to reach out and want to extend.
Speaking of that coaching change, what made Mike the right guy? You touched on it a little while ago about your passion for this role, but what made Mike the right guy to continue that relationship that you had with Pete previously?
Yeah, I think to Pete's credit, when we started interviewing together, he was just very open about, both of us were very open about, like I said, no ego and clear communication, and just wanting to push the boundaries every single day, and the world of competitiveness and what that looks like in professional sports. And so with in regards to Mike, in the interview process, it became very clear in a 2-hour meeting that felt like 20 minutes what a clear, concise, intelligent communicator he was. And you could tell his competitive nature, you could tell his toughness, and with Mike it was all about, okay, how do we help him grow now, and how do we help him with his staff? And we have everybody, like I said, everybody in the building here, from Dave, Chuck to EK, Mo, everybody, everybody in our department has a lot of experience around the league, a lot of connections, and just all the backgrounds on all the background work on trying to help them out, put a staff together. And that takes a minute, I mean, we went through an offensive staff change. We were second to last team to hire, and the head coach, and so you're definitely behind the football schedule at that point in the off season.
The start of your offseason was pretty eventful with the coordinator change, the 2 big
Yeah,
trades.
I would
Since
say
then,
so, yeah.
it seems like it's been pretty harmonious. I'm sure there's always stuff you got to deal with, but it
Yeah.
seems like it's been pretty drama-free. How nice is it to live in that world?
Yeah, we pretty much air our dirty laundry around here. I think we do a really good job of keeping things in house, and we talk a lot about it, and we're very prideful of it. But I would say the drama portion, yeah, it feels smooth right now. To your point, it doesn't. Somebody at the national media is here today was asking me about it, and I just said, yeah, it does feel a little less drama-free right now. And there is a newness, and I think that goes along with it too. Like there's a freshness to different faces and a whole new offensive staff. So.
How do you feel? Kind of starting with the trade of Russell 3 years ago. There's been an awful lot of change with Russell and Pete, and kind of how do you feel about kind of coming out of that whole 3-year period and sort of the base where you are now, kind of going into the forward with all this?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, Bob. I've thought a lot about it, and I know I write a lot, and like journal a lot, and that's just keeping your integrity and keeping things above board, and knowing like what's guiding you. Obviously your faith, but like just what's best for the team, what's best for the team, what's best for the team, like what's best for the organization. And then once you've decided that, how are you going to communicate and express those thoughts and make those decisions and handle yourself with grace. And that's really like what I look back on with that. Has everything gone smoothly? No. Can we correct it? As we move forward, does time heal all wounds? Yeah. Tracy and I spent an hour with Marshawn the other night hanging out, right? So, he didn't talk to me for a while, So, yeah, just trying to be as above board and honest and clear as you possibly can. Especially not just this industry, but just in life. I talk to my boys about this a lot, right? You start heading down that lane of like trying to BS people or like steer people a certain way. It's just going to bite you in the tail because you can't always keep up, and you just got to be yourself. And we take a lot of pride, our whole staff, the whole football operation, like everybody. We come to work every day, busting our tails, and we're gonna be ourselves, but we're the best version of that.
Last question. If anyone told you, John, in January 2010, you'd be here 20 years, first time
Yeah.
you've done, what would you say?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I'd see some of those pictures and I'm kind of like, like, who is that dude? But Mike McCarthy's a really good friend of mine, and he was interviewing with the Chicago Bears earlier this year, and we were talking the night before that, and I was like, could you imagine, like, the two of us sitting with our high school friends, and, like, you're sitting there telling your high school buddies you're a head coach, the all-time winning coach of Green Bay Packer history, and a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and the Chicago Bears, like, and, I feel similar, it's a similar, like, gratitude there where it's like, being with the same team, like I said, I'm a NFL historian. I've been blessed to have amazing mentors, and so to possibly be here for 2 decades is, be unbelievable.
Last question.
With all that you have going on, player personnel, contract signings, coaches signings, what's the part of your job do you enjoy the most?
Just kind of like walking through the building, giving people crud. That's kind of like my leadership style a little bit, just having fun and messing with people. But, just just evaluating, just being in there, studying by yourself, challenging yourself to keep building your library of players and being able to sit with all the scouts and listen to them talk about players and all the hard work and all the studying and everything that goes into a college draft or just, daily, like, this morning we worked out 4 guys and how does everybody feel about them and just that part of it. I think at the heart of it, and that's how I started. I was an evaluator.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you all.